Reading is a critical skill that children learn from a very young age. For many of us, the ability to read is something we might take for granted. Think about your day. What have you read so far? Reading with children is an important part of their development to not only promote their love for reading and teach morals through the stories, but also used to teach reading out loud as a skill. Hi everyone, I'm Natalie from My Progression, and today we're going to look at the art of reading. As an educator, you will already be aware of the importance of early reading in children, but how can we keep children of all ages engaged when we're at the front of a class reading a book? In this video, we'll be discussing how you're the reading role model to the children you teach, and how your enthusiasm and energy can shape your class's attitudes towards reading. When you show the enjoyment of reading, you'll encourage the desire for them to independently read as they get older, because you've made it look so fun. This video will predominantly focus on early years and primary, but there are some techniques discussed that you can use in secondary. Reading is equally important across all key stages, and we'll be exploring how your role as the reader can differ slightly from key stage to key stage. In primary, you're preparing them for the next stage of their school career, where reading out loud will become a tool to test development and comprehension. When reading out loud to children, you're modelling not only how to read, but what good reading looks like. Reading out loud to children is a skill that needs to be refined and perhaps practiced. Before sharing a story with your children, make sure you've read it yourself and know the content so you, as the reader, are aware of the voice you're going to need to use to create the atmosphere of the story. Do you need to use a quiet voice to create tension as the adventurers try to escape their kidnappers? Or are you going to use a loud and demanding voice to portray the domineering captain from the pirate ship which has captured Great Granny from her garden? Don't be shy, give it a go. Why not ask the class what voice you should use? Children of all ages will love it, and it'll keep them hooked. Expression when reading out loud is essential from the beginning. Expression means reading aloud with feeling. It puts emotions in the words on the page so the children can understand the author's intent and are hooked with your enthusiasm. It's a skill that needs to be built upon. The more you practice, the more confident you'll become. Regardless of the age of the children you're reading to, expression is essential to engage your listeners and help the children picture the story. Choosing the right book for your audience is essential. What's going to engage them? Talk to other staff, as they may just have the very book you're looking for. It's hard to please everyone, but choose a book with your class in mind and then sell it to them. You can inject them with your enthusiasm, and it will be a time to connect with the class in a very different way. There's always the chance that someone will know the book, and that's fine too. Just use that situation to your benefit. Right class, Millie knows this story and has told me she thinks our class will love it. Millie said she won't tell anyone what happens because she wants it to be a surprise for you all. Naturally, as an educator, you'll want to ask the children questions to check their understanding. However, it's important you wait till the end of the chapter or short story to ask questions so the flow of the story isn't interrupted. When stopping, finish the story at a cliffhanger or try to complete it in one sitting. To maintain motivation, finish at a point where you have the children totally immersed in the story. And using the voice you are reading in, say something like, "And we have no time for any more, but I promise we will continue tomorrow." Well done for listening so well. I can't wait to find out what happens tomorrow. The children will remain calm and leave for their break, or at the end of the day, relaxed, but also motivated to hear more the next session. So now we've discussed reading as a whole, let's delve into reading in different key stages. Although expression, attitude and book choice are essential in every year group, there are different strategies you can use to maintain engagement for early years children compared to year 6. Within early years and Key Stage 1, enthusiasm is essential not only to engage children in stories, but also promote a love for reading. As an early years practitioner, you'll understand the importance of reading from a young age, as these early experiences in reading shape the child's attitudes towards reading in their life. It's important to remember that not every child has the same reading experiences at home, and that for many children, you're their only reading model. So why not be the best you can be? Most importantly, reading should be fun, and young children should see reading as a time and opportunity to unwind and enjoy. You might choose to have a specific time each day that you read a short story or part of a book, and to introduce this reading time, you could play a piece of music so the children know what's coming next. When reading, bring the story onto the carpet, or perhaps you could be lucky enough to have comfy cushions or bean bags in your classroom that the children could take turns to sit on. So many teachers manage behaviour and promote good listening by giving out positive rewards such as Star Listener. The winning pupils could sit in a special seat in story time the following day. Before reading a new book, it's always a good idea to explore the context of the story with your class. So what information do the children need to understand from the book? Do they need to know specific vocabulary? Is it a new setting or an unusual animal? Generating excitement around the story will create a buzz in your classroom and the children will be eager to listen. So why not use a display for your class text? You can change this for each story, including pictures and key vocabulary, which will support the children's understanding. So for example, if you're planning on reading The Very Hungry Caterpillar with your class, why not go caterpillar hunting in an outdoor area at your school? Or watch YouTube videos about caterpillars. Remember when we spoke about acting out the different characters from a story? With younger children, you could always use finger puppets with your TA so the children can see as well as hear the story. Another way to promote engagement is to have visuals on when you're reading the story. You might use a visualizer to show the pages you're reading or display illustrations on your screen to represent the main events in the story. When joining Year 3, children often still enjoy sitting on the carpet to listen to stories. However, their interests may have shifted slightly, so the steps you take to keep the children engaged may differ. Throughout Key Stage 2, consistency is key, and the children benefit from a routine even as they're getting older. So choose a slot in your timetable that's saved for reading time each day if possible, or for as many days as you can. Often in Key Stage 2, children benefit from reading after break or lunch to calm them down before the next lesson, or at the end of the day as a wind down before home. You might choose to name your reading sessions such as Read and Relax or Unwind and Enjoy Reading. For children in Year 4 and above, encourage relaxed seating positions in their seats, different to how they would sit when in a lesson. Ask them how they feel most relaxed and encourage this sitting when you begin reading. Similarly to early years, is there a cosy part of your classroom, such as a reading corner, that different children identified as listening role models could sit in to enjoy the book as a reward? Choosing your text, consider the curriculum you're teaching and how fiction or non-fiction text can link to learning. If you've got another class in your year group, why not read the same book so the children can discuss it at lunchtime? You'd be surprised at how much they actually chat about their learning on the playground. Can you find relevant videos online to link to the book you're reading to promote interest further? Reading can also include poetry, and this is a good opportunity to link your reading to worldwide events. For example, you might choose to read and discuss in Flandersfield when learning about Remembrance Day. As mentioned before, you don't want to interrupt the flow of the story, but calling back to more complicated words to show spelling and check understanding will be really useful. To promote reading for pleasure, as well as question time after reading, why not introduce book talk time? This can be either teacher-led or child-led, giving children the freedom to discuss the book, investigate other books by the same author, or recommend similar stories to their classmates. Keeping older children engaged can have different challenges to younger children, but it's equally as important to support their understanding of unfamiliar vocabulary and a range of themes in books to prepare them for reading at Key Stage 3 level. In Upper Key Stage 2, your class might want to feel more in control of their reading preferences. So why not invite the pupils to take it in turns when reading aloud so they can listen to their peers or vote on the book or genre of the new class text? This is also where you can start to remove some of your scaffolding and have the more confident readers share some of the reading responsibility. For more on scaffolding, see our video Evaluating Scaffolding Teaching Techniques linked in the description below. And whilst you're there, like, subscribe and click on the bell to keep hearing more from My Progression. Remember, positive experiences within reading throughout Key Stage 1 and Key Stage 2 not only gives children the confidence to read independently in secondary school, but encourages a love for reading that lasts a lifetime. Overall, it's clear that reading is a vital part of a child's day, and putting time aside for this within the classroom is essential. Reading promotes a safe, calm and relaxed environment, and is something that all children can become immersed in and enjoy. It's important it's not rushed activity, and the value of reading is reflected in your attitudes. Keep up the enthusiasm, expression and enjoyment towards reading in the classroom, and I can promise you will inspire children to pick up more books. I want you to remember this quote from Dr. Seuss when you're reading to your class, to remind everyone of the importance of reading. The more that you read, the more things you will know. The more that you learn, the more places you will go. We hope this video has been helpful. I've been Natalie from My Progression, and let's keep your career in motion.